Hello, Taurus. You are one of my favorite signs. So I'm very excited to provide this service for you. This is your 2018 Sag New Moon manifestation video. So I'm going to begin with an oracle card. From the Whispers of Lord Ganesha. But really where your focus should be. Blessings. Number 44, angel number. I'm going to read from the booklet. I hope the as this is my first time doing this, I'm still experimenting with the focus. I think I've figured it out finally, but please bear with me through my trial. Blessings. You are divinely protected. Ganesha asks you to consider what exactly is it that you want at this time. He asserts that your desires are within your reach. The universe is conspiring to help you achieve your aspirations. Since the universe is in harmony with your desires, the how will transpire effortlessly. Ganesha is bestowing on your blessings of luck, love, and new prospects. Be very clear about your intentions at this time. Once you have identified what you desire, Ganesha will work to clear the obstacles and amp up your blessings. Withstand the temptation to succumb to self-indulgence. Do you hear that, Taurus? I'll repeat it for you. Withstand the temptation to succumb to self-indulgence. You are in excellent affluence phase. This period will not last forever, so be sure to take advantage of it. Take advantage of the blessings presented for you at this time. Resolve will triumph. The principle of averages works in your favor now. The more that you perpetuate something that you want, the more likely you are to receive that very thing, even if it feels impossible. These manifestation possibilities are endless and range in subject matter from love to money to success to happiness. Ganesha teaches that your blessings are continuous. The realization of the blessing may not be immediately apparent. Trust that happiness and blessings are always being showered on you. What is going on in your life at this moment is external and beyond your control. It is beyond your control. True happiness and blessings lie within you, in your heart and soul. While I'm reading this, my first kind of thought is, I have noticed Taurus is a bit reluctant in believing in miracles. They believe in their self-worth. They believe in accurately assessing what they bring to the table. But when it comes to alchemy, when it comes to the aspects of power that their opposite sign, Scorpio, represents. You are really reluctant to believe in such form of power. You believe power in things that you can touch, feel, see, control. You have much more difficult time believing in things that are not materialistic. And I'm not saying materialistic in a superficial way. I mean materialistic in the sense of receipts. One of the things I always say, if I could be any sign, I would be a Taurus. And the reason why I say this is because Taurus knows how to get what they want out of people. They know how to accurately break down the environment and the people and what everybody brings, and make a commitment that is doable, that baby step it all the time, get momentum going, and all of a sudden you get what you want. This card is asking you to let go of that process a little bit. Make room for something magical to unfold. Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in magic, Taurus? Or do you only believe in yourself? So do you believe in angels? Do you believe in magic? Do you only believe in yourself? What does Taurus need to know at this new moon? To take advantage, to make the most of the manifestation potential. Bottom of the deck. Justice reverse. Princess of Cups reversed. Eight of Strength. Card of Leo. Knight of Wands reversed. Two of Swords reversed. The Hierophant. This is all pretty interesting. Okay. Yeah. You are resisting these three cards are all represent a different an element that is not your own. You of course are a earth sign. Strength is a card of Leo, fire. Justice is a card of Libra, air. Princess of Cups is a card of water. It's kind of like the only thing you have right at this time is control, the kind of control that I was talking about, where you have this plan set in place and you have the skills to manage yourself properly. If you have a goal in mind, I want to say, especially if it comes to mental, emotional, and physical health, especially physical health, you have a plan that can work. But as this card says, this isn't about the material, physical world. This is about other things. The Justice reverse, especially with this in context, especially backed by Princess of Cups, is that you are very deeply in the wrong about something. You know, a weakness of Taurus is entitlement. So there's some kind of belief that you've acted on that is very emotional, very much from the ego, very much putting you on the wrong footing. But you feel justified because you have this kind of, this Hierophant, you have this kind of philosophical justification for this choice you made that is just straight up unwise. We're gonna go back to this, and it words that are coming up for me: entitlement, clarity, recklessness, and righteousness. Whatever you're working towards, you have a huge blind spot, but you're working on it. This is all really about the card of Temperance. This is all really about integrating the two parts of yourself. I like to say in shorthand that the Temperance card is about mixing in your interior self and your exterior self. And remember, what really needs to work is the interior. Because that's where the imbalance is. Physical health, you know, your ego, your there's a real block, but you're coming off like you have it under control because you wouldn't have it any other way. And you do have a level of control. Jeez. This is the card of Capricorn. This is the card of Saturn. And Saturn is in its home sign of Capricorn right now, the Tower. You're playing it like you have everything under control. And again, there's an angel numbers, right? You're playing it so cool. You're playing it like the Justice card is right side up. You're playing it like this isn't happening. Are you denying that this complete change is happening? One Taurus that I know is going through her Saturn return. So two of my best friends are Taurus, and I'm kind of thinking about them right now. And the one person, I don't know how this applies to their life other than they're going through their Saturn return. So, and then the other person I know, I understand how this is happening in their life, but it's reversed, you know. Recently quit their job, recently got a new apartment, recently started this whole new structure of networking, which is going successfully. But it's kind of like he jumped the gun on that. He felt those changes were coming and that they were necessary, and he made them. So are you going to open yourself up to, if you can see there's a dove at the bottom of here, are you going to open yourself up to the hope? And I love the way this looks because it's not really the traditional depiction. The traditional depiction is this is more of a volcano rather than a tower. But what I really like about this is that it shares this kind of image of an egg cracking open, and inside of it is an innocent white dove. So for me, my thoughts are, why are you not letting the egg crack open? Let it come. Because inside the egg is something wonderful, something that will justify you. What are you keeping so precious that you can't move forward? What you really, really want lies underneath all of this chaos. You have the self-control, and you know you do. It's your nature to assess the situation accurately. You're just being super, super emotional and egotistical, which I'm just going to go ahead and say entitled. You feel you're entitled to not having the tower fall. Why? Why do you think you don't need that? Five of Wands. You know. So what can you do about it? You can fight for... And it's funny because this is a volcano in the back of this card. I mean, this is just... There's a lot of mirrored imagery here. Interesting. So to me, this is kind of re-emphasizing, what can you do about the tower to cope with the tower? Well, what you can do is compete, fight, get what you want. Don't do it to be irrationally competitive. Don't be irrationally competitive. Don't make emotional, manipulative choices. That's why you're not getting what you believe you're entitled to. You have this ideal of what love is supposed to look like, what the receipts are supposed to look like, that you're not letting this egg to crack. You keep trying to glue it back together. You can't glue Humpty Dumpty back together. And this, even as the Oracle card said, this could be about love, this could be about career, this could be about... Maybe you're trying to hold everything together because you think the destruction is a negative evaluation of your worth. I don't want justice because I don't want this to tell me that I'm being devalued. And there's nothing suggesting at this time that you are being devalued. If anything, you're devaluing yourself by not thinking you can survive the process. Yeah, you can level down a little bit because of this. But it's up to you whether that is temporary or the new normal. It could also elevate you. And what the card of Ganesha is saying is, trust that it's going to elevate you. Trust that it's going to be coming up roses, raining flowers, you know? Trust that the dove is inside. Six of Pentacles. Yeah, you want this agreement. It's a very Capricorn card. It's a very Libra card. This is a Libra card. Which I mentioned my two Taurus friends. The one is a Libra rising and the other's boyfriend is a Libra rising. So, look to your Libra energy. Look to your Capricorn energy, Taurus, at this time. Taurus and Libra are very connected. And Capricorn is the most mature earth sign. So look to your senior, look to your elders, Taurus and Capricorn. Yeah. I'm sorry about my cough. I'm overcoming a cold. Well, an allergy reaction, but anyway. Yeah, this is kind of short and sweet. The lesson here is that you have the prince and the princess. The lesson here is that, one, you're refusing to initiate on something new because you're afraid of what you will lose in the process. You're afraid of what that says about you. This relates to integrity. This relates to romance. And by romance, I mean love, not fun. Not saying that love isn't fun, but it's just two different, not, romance in the Leo sense, romance in the Cancer sense. And like I said, there's definitely a question of integrity at play. And especially because you are insisting on your righteousness in the situation. If you were right, things would be a lot easier. But the good thing is, that's kind of a broad thing to say. If you were right, things would be easier. But you know what I mean. If you assess the situation properly, then you would have this kind of contractual dynamic that everybody's living up to. If you assess the situation wrong, if you assess people's roles wrong, if you made these assessments based more on entitlements, aspirations, if you started a job, or if you've worked at a job for a long time, thinking it was going to be a certain way, that you were entitled to a certain kind of dynamic, and you didn't get it, whose fault is that? If you were in a relationship under the certain agreed upon terms and the other person aren't living up to it, whose fault is that? Similarly, and I think this is the biggest thing about Taurus, is that it's not so much the assessments of other people that are terrible, because Taurus, it's kind of big picture stuff. Maybe you agreed to a certain job or a certain relationship at the time because you saw some sort of potential, but people aren't their potential. A job might have had potential. A relationship might have potential. Like, you know, families, no matter how chaotic they are, they function under a certain contractual agreements. People play certain roles. And the roles that people are playing right now are either not living up to your expectation, or you aren't living up to your expectations. You overcommitted yourself to the environment. And a big reason why you did this is because you, I mean, definitely a certain kind of pettiness. But like a greediness almost. Like you wanted to collect these contracts without really exploring how these boundaries and how these dynamics would come back around towards you. I mean, what I'm about to say is not a political statement at all. I'm not saying a political statement, so I don't want any political conversation underneath. But, you know, Melania Trump is a Taurus, and her husband is a Gemini, and this is a card of Gemini, Prince of Swords. This is Prince of Swords reverse. And, like, it was very clear that she didn't want her husband to run for president. She even publicly stated that. Trump has said it himself. And I'm sure the dynamic and the environment that she got herself into is not what she wanted. She wanted to be a housewife. She wanted to raise her son and get massages whenever she wanted and design jewelry. And that's a very valid choice to make. She did not want to be a first lady. And that kind of sums up the vibe right now. What have you gotten yourself into? What have you committed yourself to? Work, relationships, family dynamics, social life, that you now realize isn't fair. But you're coming off cool. There's a lot of disturbances underneath the surface. Yeah. And it's kind of like really destabilizing. And, you know, I'm a Cancer, and something that Taurus and Cancers do have in common is that we are extremely motivated by a sense of security. So now it's time to really allow this merging between the interior and the exterior to happen. You're putting on a good front that it's happening, but it's actually not happening. You want it to happen. You want everybody to live up to their end of the bargain, especially if it's work and relationships, especially. Because that's also like, with the exception of food, what does Taurus care more about than their work and their partner, you know? You know, or family, or, you know, like, if those spheres are off, which they are in the most profound way. So I think that brings us back to the message of the blessings is, it's not a bad thing. It could be a great thing. This destabilizing is a great thing. Just don't, you know, trust in the fact that it doesn't have to be this 10.6-month plan. The hope just requires the egg to be fully cracked open. Rip the Band-Aid off. Don't try to control everyone and everything around you by making these dubious promises. Like my one friend, jump ahead of it. Oh, this job isn't working out? Okay, I'm going to set up a bunch of other side jobs to set me up to be okay while I leave this place and find something new. Well, Taurus, that was right when I was closing in, my memory cards got full. I had responsibilities I had to care for. So I'm just coming back real quick now that I got a moment and giving you a final word. I know I was using the word entitlement a lot, but entitlements are kind of the vice of earth signs in the way that toxicity, as in romanticizing toxic environments, behaviors, and people, is a vice of water signs. So I wanted to clarify that because I didn't want to make it seem like, oh, well, all Tauruses are entitled brats. I don't think that that's true at all. I just think that with the Justice, the Princess of Cups reverse, the Prince of Swords reverse, there is definitely a sense of entitlement based upon expectations that will never really manifest itself, at least not this time around. And these expectations relate to interpersonal, romantic dynamics, as well as dreams, schemes, and other things. Libra and Cap, again, Saturn. You're very much trying to improve upon the structure in your life, work, relationships, discipline, and you have to really fight for it. It's just time to push yourself to a new level of responsibility and maturity. And it's not a failing, it's not a negative criticism, it's not a bad evaluation that I'm asking this from you. It's simply just an opportunity to stop spinning and to finally, be the person you like to project yourself as, to be appreciated for. This is my wisdom for you at this new moon, Taurus. I adore you. Hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you next month, hopefully. God bless.